handled the Clinton email probe. Somehow, though, who knows how, the president twisted that to say that the report exonerated him in the Russia investigation.
I think that the report yesterday, maybe more importantly than anything, it totally exonerates me. There was no collusion. There was no obstruction. And if you read the report, you'll see that.
Republican Congressman Jim Jordan represents the state of Ohio. He's also a member of the Oversight and Government Reform Committee. Congressman, thank you so much for being here.
You bet. Good to be with you, Katie.
Our big question today was why is Republican leadership so okay with the president lying? I know you're not in leadership per se, but I want to ask you, why are you okay with the president lying?
If you're talking about the Inspector General's report, page 421, they say, we do not have confidence that Peter Strzok's decision was free from bias. If that doesn't criticize the central player in this entire narrative, Peter Strzok, the guy who Clinton investigation.
Hold on. Congressman, come on. I didn't ask you about Peter Strzok. I asked you about the president lying. I asked you about the president. Answer that question, and then we can get to Peter Strzok. We can get there, I promise. Just answer my first question first.
You asked me about the president
talking about the report. Are you okay with him lying? No, I did not. I said, are you okay with him lying? And I'm asking you about Come on, Congressman, let me ask you one question and answer it. Then we can get to Peter Strzok, I promise.
So
I'm talking about the president lying, and it goes beyond the IG report. He says the whole thing exonerates him in the Mueller investigation. It does not touch
Katy,
on that, number one. Number two, he talks about how the Democrats are to blame for the policy, not a law, the policy of separating families at the border. He says the FBI stormed into Cohen's offices. The FBI conducted a raid. Cohen had prior knowledge of this happening. There's so many other things that I can say that he said this morning. He lied or misled the public 19 times. I'm not just talking about the IG report. So my question again is, my question again is, are you okay with the president lying?
Relative to the IG report, you want me to answer that question first? So relative to the IG report, the central players, Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, on the Clinton investigation, on the Russian investigation, also on Mueller's team. Peter Strzok said that, Inspector General said, we do not have confidence his decisions were made free of bias. We know the bias he had. They despised the president. We know that. And what we also found out yesterday is one other player, lawyer number two, FBI lawyer number two, on the Clinton investigation, on the primary lawyer on the Russian investigation, also put on Mueller's team. So to say that there wasn't any bias there and that these people ran the right kind of investigation, that's the takeaway from yesterday's IG report. They did not. As clear as could be. So, yes, that has an impact on this whole Russian investigation. And, of course, that's what the president was conveying.
Okay,
yes,
okay.
In his comments earlier this morning.
Leave that aside, and we will get back to it again. Are you okay with the president going out and saying that Paul Manafort had almost nothing to do with his campaign?
I think the president was speaking in general terms. He was chairman for a while. The president's point was he wasn't the chairman.
144 days. He was there longer than Kellyanne Conway, than Steve Bannon.
But, Katy, you know it was a long campaign. I read your book. You were with him for like 2 years. So
yeah,
you know what a long campaign it was.
And I know what Paul Manafort was brought on to do. Paul Manafort was brought on to save the campaign. He was an integral player at the most critical time of the campaign.
You said the president wasn't being square when he said Paul Manafort had nothing to do with a campaign. True, but then what did the president say next? He said he was only my campaign chairman for a certain amount of time.
He said 44 days or something, and it was actually 144 days.
Okay, fine. So he exaggerated a little bit on that. Big deal.
Exaggerated. That's a big exaggeration.
The point was Paul Manafort was chairman of his campaign for a while. He wasn't chairman for the whole time. It was a 2-year campaign. You were there for all 2 years of it. Like I said, I read your book where you chronicled following the campaign for all that time. So, look, that's the point I think he's trying to make. How about we focus on the things that have been good for the country? By anyone's definition, the last year and a half has been taxes are down, the economy's up, unemployment's at its lowest, Gorsuch is on the court, we're out of the Iran deal, the Koreas have met, the hostages have come home, the embassy's in Jerusalem. That's a pretty darn good year and a half by anyone's definition.
Well, no. A lot of folks will say that getting out of the Iran deal